What's up, Patriots? How you doing? I'm the Real Manos, and we are doing comic reviews. Welcome to another episode of the weekly comic pull. Well, I'll talk to you about the comics I bought this week. I think that's pretty simple. Speaking of simple, you can go online, find Manos Publishing, and order copies of Red Knight in print or digital. Issues 1 through 3 are available right now, and issue 4 is going to be on sale September 1st in print and digital. That's a comic book I publish. So hey, let's get to the big guns here. Now, I picked up a bunch of stuff this week. I picked up Amazing Spider-Man 47 right here. And that's legacy number 848, by the way. We're getting close to 850. Daredevil Annual number 1. There's like 1,000 Daredevil Annuals number 1. So let's just say Daredevil Annual 2020. XMen 11. This is an Empire tie-in. And I picked up also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 108. I forgot to read 107, so I'm going to be talking about both issues today. So let's go on to, I'm going to go to Amazing Spider-Man first. I'm going to lead with that. And this is the Nick Spencer run. Let's see, who's the artist on this? I forgot to look up. Let's see, Ferreira. And we are knee-deep in Sin. What's the Sin's Rising story arc. Now, last we left the Sin Eater. It looks like he was going to kill like one of the other characters, Winters, who he snuck into her car, and then we heard a gunshot and a flash, and plot twist, that was actually her. She pulled out her gun and like blam blam right in the back seat. But right now he's got these magical cosmic demon powers or something like that, so Bullet really didn't do anything. And he wasn't here to kill her or threaten her or anything like that. He was here for an interview, and he wanted to put a message out to the public. Basically, he wanted her to print his manifesto, essentially, to speak to the masses. He's looking for followers. And after an argument she has with Jameson, she puts it out there anyway. Jameson puts it, basically the classic professional argument. We don't do this. We don't let psychopath criminals speak to the public like this. We don't give them a soapbox. And she's like, hey, that's going to get a lot of hits. And she does it. She's not... Winters is so bad, she makes Jameson look like the best journalist ever. And guess what? That sure enough does build an army for him and followers. Meanwhile, we get to see Spider-Man. He's with Carly and Overdrive, who's in the hospital. And Overdrive's hurt in ways that the other people that the Sin Eater shot and brought back and absolved of their sins. And we get into a little story about why that was. And she was essentially, she brought, called the cops, in, because, hey, I got a criminal here who just came back to life. There's a nice scene, actually, where the lead cop talks to her about how that's happened before, and, getting used to it. And then she realizes, like, what are those other guys doing? And they were, like, trying to kill him. They were like, that's why he's in the hospital. He's beaten up because of these cops. And then Spider-Man, essentially, follows and finds the Sin Eater, who is... Yeah, he's created a little fight club. Let's just say that. He jumps into the fray right here to take out the Sin Eater, but the Sin Eater, for every supervillain he absolves, he gains their powers. So he has, I think 5 powers right now that Spider-Man is not ready to fight against. So that's where we end right here. And he is building an army, and he's also, planning to come for Norman Osborn. So things are getting really serious, and I've been following the news a lot, like a lot of you, and this kind of thing really does come close to home. There's a lot of scary stuff in here, and I've not seen this Sin Eater in a long time, and bringing him back really has created a strong story. Let's just say that. This is 5 out of 5 Ram Chips. The art's very atmospheric. I don't usually see this artist on Spider-Man, but he really is one of the right choices. He is a good, strong choice for this story material. Every piece is nicely done and moody without being too overly dark. Really good stuff. Recommend it. All right, now let's go to Daredevil, Chip Zdarsky. I'm a big dork for Chip Zdarsky, and specifically him on Daredevil. The artist on this one is Manuel Garcia, and this follows Mike Murdock. Hey, remember Mike Murdock? A quick explanation on him. He was basically a undercover alias that Matt Murdock had created, sort of like Batman, Bruce Wayne's like Matches Malone or something like that. And he'd use them every so often. And through a weird, stupid cosmic accident during Charles Soule's run, Mike got turned into a real person. And he's only so real. He still kind of feels like a shell and a memory and not like a real, actual living person. So this involves him getting this kind of one of these mini cosmic stones. He steals it from the Hood, and he essentially wishes for a life. And then we flash back all throughout his life from birth on up and the major events and how it ties into Matt's life. And this is nicely drawn. Garcia's does some really strong work that it kind of like, I think, invokes, probably like maybe John Romita Jr.'s run, especially the first issue on Man Without Fear miniseries. Very nicely done here. And then, we get all the way till the death of their dad, Jack, and he's just completely distraught over that. He's lost his father for the first time for real. And then we get to meet him in Daredevil, and I'm slightly uncertain. Like, is this now suddenly real for Matt? Like, did Chip Zdarsky just pull a Dawn Summers on us, where now Mike was just always there? It's a little unclear when he deals with Matt, because Matt was already aware of his existence, because of the Charles Soule run. But like he meets with like this character named Butch, who they were like meeting, previously. So he may have just kind of rebooted himself into their world. I'm not sure like what kind of profound changes that can be. You can say that it kind of still fits without causing too much damage, because he kind of took off out of Matt's life after the death of their father, and kind of like came back and forth. So maybe, I don't know, having a relationship with a twin versus not having a sibling, kind of, there might be some character differences, or maybe Matt has never been changed by this. It does create a lot of interesting thoughts, and this is not just like a throwaway annual, like just a filler issue. This might be kind of important in the future. Definitely recommend it. I'd probably give it 4 out of 5 Ram Chips. Very good stuff, very thought-provoking stuff, and at the very least, this might be important for later. So there you go. All right, and we go over to Hickman and Francis Yu, and it's the X-Men, and they are right now combating the Kotaki over in the Empire arc, and we get to see Exodus at the beginning, kind of teaching children, and he's been doing these little campfire get-togethers with kids, teaching them how evil Scarlet Witch is, and he's like going over like the legends of like Magneto in this one, and I don't know. I mean, I guess there's technically nothing wrong with what he's doing, but I don't know. It just seems menacing. Meanwhile, we focus most of this issue on Magneto, and he is just fantastic in this as he battles an attack from the Kotati trying to take over Krakoa. And like he lines up all these satellites. He's going to use them, but not as information gatherers. Like he straight up uses them as blunt objects. It's fantastic. Pretty good issue. Not too much going on, but as usual with some of the minor issues, it does feel like laying the groundwork, and it's definitely kind of fun to watch. Magneto kind of tear things up. I'm going to give this 4 out of 5 ramjets. Pretty fun issue. All right, now we're going to go to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm going to be talking about 107 and 108. And this is dealing with, I should say the creating staff here. Let's see, Sophie Campbell, Rhonda Pattinson, and Nelson Daniel. Also, Kevin Eastman and Tom Waltz are still on board as story consultants. So, hey, what's going on is some mutant kids, who, by the way, are adorable and kind of look like stuffed animals, or just animals, are kind of turning up missing. It's rather scary. So, Lita, one of the kind of the small white turtle who wants to be a ninja, kind of went looking for him and has turned up missing herself, and the Ninja Turtles go looking for her. That's where they found the classic old Mouser robots. Donnie immediately gives April a call and goes, "Hey, there are these Mouser robots here. Can you do something about that with Baxter Stockman?" And she goes to check on that. And meanwhile, Lita's trying to free the kids that have been kind of captured by this eel monster that's underneath the sewers, which, by the way, gives the gang kind of like nostalgic feelings of going through the sewers. How gross. And of course they hunt the thing down, and they're all like captured by the eel. Meanwhile, April is discovering that Baxter is spying on Mutant Town and using these Mousers, and isn't really doing much about the eel, frankly. Now we jump over to issue 108, where we pick that up. Let's see. April confronts him about it, and she goes, "I'm going to do something myself." They seem to have like a secret passageway into Mutant Town, so she's able to get there pretty quickly. Let's see. Leonardo and Lita. Lita meets with all the Ninja Turtles, and she's crying and she's upset because she was trying to get all these other mutants free, and her plans didn't work, and she feels like a failure. And they give her a nice pep talk, like, "You are still learning. You just started. Look, we all make mistakes." And it's kind of funny because Ralph and Mikey are busting on each other. It's like, yeah, Ralphie always runs away, and like, hey, Mikey always makes mistakes. It's really kind of sweet and kind of like old school turtle like dialogue. I love it a lot. Let's see. Then of course April shows up, and we're able to try and free the turtles. By the way, there's some conversations here that the mutants might be thinking of creating a government for themselves. Like if the city of New York, state of New York, U.S. government isn't doing anything, and Hobb, has basically kind of like banished himself because he was like ruling like an evil gang warlord. There's kind of nobody in charge, and they're like, maybe we should kind of put together a government or something. So that's going to be interesting to see play out. The gang is able to like fight the eel, and while they're trying to decide what to do with it after capturing it, it kind of frees itself. Now here's the thing: the eel seemed like a giant like eel, like not like a human mutant, but it was a mutant eel, and there were other fish and creatures that seemed to like be turned into mutants, and they're starting to wonder like Hobbs' bomb may have like spread out further than they thought it did. So that's going to create, I think, some threads that are going to like go through this story arc. So how far did it get? Will it spread? Is it going to continue on outside of Mutant Town in New York? Not too bad. So pretty good stuff here. I'm going to give both of these issues 5 out of 5 ramp chips. They were both a lot of fun. Loved them a lot. This is one of the consistently best series right now. Big fan of Ninja Turtles right now from IDW. That's it for now. What comics did you read this week? Let me know in the comments below. You can like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You can also follow me here on, of course, YouTube. You can support the Real Manos and Manos Publishing at Patreon, just starting at $1 a month. And you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm still on Tumblr, but I don't really use it too much. Should I get back into Tumblr? Should I do stuff on Tumblr? I don't know. I've been posting these videos on Tumblr. That's all I've been doing. Let me know. Should I jump back on Tumblr and reuse it? I think that's it. So push the button, Lindsay.
Really, no mics.